Hello everybody! Recently I got to go to the Utah Retro Gaming Expo. This was an amazing event this year. I started going to the successor of this event about 2 years ago, and previously it was known as the Retro Game Swap. And this is the first year there was a bit of a rebranding into the Retro Game Xpo. And the organizer, Tracy, is a very awesome dude. He's the owner of Minus World Video Games. And it all started in his parking lot in a tent as a game swap. And then eventually it grew. It took up a very large room at the conference center in Layton. And the year after that, it took up even more area, and he was able to invite guests like the voice actor for the announcer in NBA Jam for the Super Nintendo. And this year he had even more guests, even more YouTubers. And he was able to add a whole bunch of new things like a museum, tournaments, even more panels, and make it a 2-day event instead of a 1-day event. It used to be a 1-day event twice a year, and now it's a 2-day event once per year. So this was the first year that I decided with a friend that we would run a booth as vendors instead of just being participants at the event. So we decided at the end of last year, 2023, and ever since then I've been preparing by buying video games from places like Whatnot, online, Facebook Marketplace, yard sales, things like that. Buying games from largely people who were just trying to get rid of games. I sold 3D printed stuff. We're trying to just get as much variety as we could to see what sells. I was able to sell lots of pins. I gave away stickers for free. Anyway, to get into the chronology of what happened, so a week before the event, someone posted that they had an arcade 1-up on sale. He was a retired veteran. He sold a Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 arcade 1-up cabinet for only $100, so I jumped right on it. I really wanted to take that to the event and get it signed by the Mortal Kombat crew. And so I decided to, instead of hauling the whole arcade cabinet there, I just took off the front panel. And it says 1, 2, and 3 on there. One of the dudes was in Mortal Kombat 2. His name is Anthony. He played Kung Lao in Mortal Kombat 2. So I wanted something that they could all sign, and that made sense. So it comes with 1, 2, and 3. And in the future, I could have more people sign it if I find even more characters, like the guy that played Kano, for example. I packed all kinds of stuff, loaded it into my car. I was able to fit everything. I got everything loaded and drove to the event. I was extremely excited, drove up, and was already instantly stoked and happy about the amount of people that I was seeing there. Got there an hour before the close of setup time, which was 2 hours before the vendor floor opened. Bought a crate that had a handle and wheels on it from Home Depot. I wanted something where I could haul things, and that also had a lock on it, had a built-in lock, so that if we needed to step away, I could put things in that box, cover it, and lock it. So we get to the event, we get set up. I got my shelving put together. It was really light because it was made of plastic. Got everything set up. It was an 8-foot long table. Took quite a bit of setup just because we didn't know how to lay out things. I wasn't really prepared for how to lay out things or organize things on the table. The bags that I had the games in were extremely helpful because they were in a translucent bag. So I just stacked those on each other and it worked awesome. Cases I used from the Container Store to display and have people flip through games. That was a little bit disappointing because it was a little more wide than I would have liked, and it didn't fit Super Nintendo games well, but it fit Nintendo 64 and GameCube, Japanese GameCube specifically, games very well. Once we got set up, things just started rolling. Like, people started coming as we were finishing setup. The people that were buying games there were awesome.
My friend Zach was a massive help at the event and convinced me to hold a raffle. This guy here was the first entry.
Nope. There you go.
You're just like, what do you mean put it in?
And your pants.
Yes, thank you. Everyone was extremely nice, friendly. We were able to just nerd and geek out over video games.
So what's one of the coolest things you've seen here or enjoyed here?
I got to meet one of my favorite voice actors, Cassandra, who voices Morkagon from 75, and Elfo from Guilty Gear.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, now the dirt. What's one of the lamest things you've seen?
The fact that we can't find Sonic Unleashed in the 360, I don't know what I saw here.
And I wanted people to be happy with the prices I was selling my games at. That was something I wanted to make clear to them, that everything was negotiable. I set things pretty close to price charting, but in a way where I was also happy with it, but that I also had some wiggle room for negotiation. Especially if they were willing to buy multiple items, I was willing to cut a bigger and bigger deal. Makes sense, right? Every once in a while there was a game I didn't have as much wiggle room on because I bought them at either a high price, or there were some situations where I was honestly okay with keeping the game. If it sold too low, I'd rather just keep it. And so there were a handful of games like that where I didn't have wiggle room because I was like, I'd really rather not go low, because if I'm gonna sell that low, I'd rather just keep it. 3D print stuff sold really well. I sold a lot of coasters. I have the Bamboo X1 carbon printer, and I have a video on my entire impressions of that if you want to check it out. I was surprised at how tired I was after the first day. It was definitely a lot more physically demanding than I was expecting. I was standing a lot. I felt weird talking to everyone sitting. I wanted to feel like I wanted people to feel like I was engaged with them as I was selling and talking to them. Yeah, the biggest thing I want to improve in the future, if I do this again, is the layout of my inventory. It was a little chaotic, as you can see in the video. To lay things out in a way that's more clear and that the prices are more clear. I think often as I talk to people, people were actually kind of surprised how good my prices were. And so if I'd advertised that better, I probably would have gotten more sales, like signs. I was surprised how many people were like scared to ask questions. Some were like, I don't want to bother him to ask this kind of questions. Like, no, it's no bother. Like, come talk to me, man. I'm happy to talk to anyone. I'm very happy to answer questions. I'm very happy to negotiate. I mean, the worst I could say is no. If you throw out a price and I'm not happy with it, I'm just gonna be like, sorry, I can't go that low. I'm not gonna be offended or upset or anything. Like, I can throw you out a new price, like, well, what about this? Or hey, if you buy another thing, maybe we can work on that. And I'm very happy to talk to people. And so at the event, there was only 2 of us. Definitely recommend at least 3. So that you can have more time to rotate, people can go get lunch or go participate in the events. We had a really hard time at that. We had a really hard time getting to events on time as well. We tried to go to a Halo 2 tournament and just telling everyone like, sorry, we gotta go. Like, it was so hard to just be like, and put the cloth over and be like, sorry guys, we gotta take off. We did that a couple of times, and both times we were a few minutes late and didn't make it. So Halo 2 tournament, I got there just 4 minutes late. He was like, sorry man, we already started. And I was like, dang it. Same thing with the Abdallah panel. He did a tournament that was really cool, and I feel like I would have done really well on, where he was asking people quiz questions, asking them to guess the name of a song, a Nintendo song, having them do a challenge in the NES World Championships game. Again, we got there just a few minutes late, and they'd already picked all the people to be in the tournament. And I was like, dang it. Lots of amazing stuff there, though. There was a guy that was selling pinball machines, but you slide your phone or your Nintendo Switch into it, and you interact with the side buttons. He set it up so that they actuate the Joy-Cons, which you could also slot into it.
Our main power distribution is down inside there.
Wow. So are you an engineer?
Well, technically. I have an engineering title. I don't actually have a degree, just mostly self-taught.
And you just move this to take it back out?
Yeah, so it's held up with a magnet.
Oh, wow. You
can
thought of everything with these.
Pull on the plunger and you're off and going if you want to try it.
Sure. Let's try it. There it goes. Oh, that is so cool. Wow.
And they press all the right buttons to be able to control the bumpers and the plunger. And he said it works with any pinball game on the Switch. And the phone one, you just interact with the screen on the phone. There was a guy that was selling or advertising his business where He sets up these devices that you interact with on your phone, and it's like a scavenger hunt. You go around and there's an app, and you put your phone up to these different devices.
Okay, so these guys have a really cool, unique thing they're doing at the event, where they have these tags hidden around. It's like a scavenger hunt. Could you explain a little more about it?
Sure, we got 10 tags hidden throughout this expo. You open the Gateway Adventure app right here, and you're able to click on the map, which will take you to basically Google Maps. And you can find these tags in the general vicinity. Then you can come back to the app when you find one. You click on the NFC button. You're able to scan it like this. Just like Apple Pay. Yep. And then you get 1 out of 10. And we have these adventures actually set up in parks, in Farmington Pond, in Kaysville, and Minus World Games as well. And we're just kind of doing like a geocaching escaping like adventure. So everything's free right now. And yeah, go check it out.
Awesome, thank you. Wait, what's the name of it? Gateway Adventure?
Gateway Adventure.
Right there.
Gateway Adventure app.
Okay, Gateway Adventure. Is this a business you started, or? Oh, you started it.
I started it.
Very cool.
Programming. I got one other programmer. And stuff,
Oh, wow. Okay, I have a question I've been asking a lot of people that own their own business, because there's lots of them here. What's been the easiest and hardest thing of running your own business?
Oh man. Easiest, I would say. Easiest. Oh man, I can't think of anything that was easy. But
Or the most enjoyable?
most enjoyable. Oh, I'd love to see like just getting it out here. People like actually downloading the app and checking it out. It's so much fun. I really enjoyed that. The hardest I would say is the coding. There's lots of errors. We even have like errors with our app right now. So if you download it now, there's probably going to be some bugs. Just refresh it, open the app again, sign back in. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Well, cool. Well, thanks for showing us.
Yeah.
I was amazed at how many people like were so happy to be involved, and there were even volunteers that were doing things for free. There's a guy there was a friend of Tracy's, and he had tons of really old consoles and systems, and he brings them all for free and just lets everyone, including kids, touch them. And I told him, like, I really commended him. I was like, dude, that is awesome of you. Like, not many people are willing to let people, especially kids, like touch their really old stuff. You just told me, I believe that there are some things that should be kept nice and not played with and for display. And then there are also things that should be played with and that people should learn from and interact with. So amazing and cool of him to do that, to let kids be a part of this history, video game history, that they probably never would have been able to see or be a part of otherwise if it weren't for him. There are lots of people that were advertising and selling comics, creating their own comics. There were some podcasters. There was a podcasting group that talked all about poop. Tons of self-made people that were either starting their own business, trying to start their own business, doing side hustles.
I'm here with Noble. First time doing this. Can you guys tell me a bit about yourselves?
Yeah, we are an entertainment company based out of Roy, Utah, and we do comic books, miniatures, and dice. So those are all the things that we make. You can take a look at our table. We make the dice by hand ourselves, and we paint them and just manufacture them all in-house. Yeah,
Very cool.
Yep, all these are written by one of us.
So what's the easiest and hardest part of running a business?
I like it when we meet up, we can sit around and kind of like just talk about stories. Those are my favorite moments, when we like bring a character up and we all discuss the character and we all figure it out together. And there's a moment when it just clicks and it's like, that's what we need to do for the story.
I can tell you something that's bad about it. It's taxes.
But here I come, the government.
That's the
Yeah.
hardest
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
And I somehow got saddled with doing all the tax work.
All right. How about over here?
My favorite part is I've always had an overactive imagination, so being able to bring things like this to life makes me very happy.
There's my comic. Just kidding. Just kidding.
So I love supporting people that are trying to grow and create their own stuff. Tournaments, lots of tournaments. Halo 2, Mortal Kombat. Winner of Mortal Kombat, I actually got to play one of the Mortal Kombat actors that actually knew how to play really well. Didn't see the results, but wish I could have seen that. There was a Nintendo Power Museum that was all art magazines. They had a Mario standee. There was a room all dedicated to Smash Melee. It even had a tournament finals screen set up on one end. Tons of arcade cabinets. The arcade cabinets were all set up right next to the Retro Game Consoles Museum, and the tournament area was on the other side of the panels. There were voice actors from Zelda, Persona 5, Mortal Kombat, the martial artists and everything that were actual physical actors, and people from that fitness center that knew each other in the history. They were so cool. Check them out. They have tons of content on YouTube and Instagram. They had the fastest talker in the world, the guy that holds the record for that, and he did his own panel. Lots of YouTubers, Rock Solid, John Riggs, Abdallah, Cello Cat. Day 2, honestly, I felt a little less tired than day 1, which surprised me. I guess it was your body adjusting. But we did just well. Both days were packed. Both days were very busy. At the very end of the day, I finally had a second where some more of my family showed up and helped watch my booth. And so I went with my dad over to the Mortal Kombat area, brought my panel, and I had it all washed, and I had it like in this night. I had it in like a garbage bag to protect it. And I was like, oh, hey, I'm here. And they were like, oh, one of our guys is playing the winner of the Mortal Kombat tournament. I was like, oh, shoot. And they're like, we're leaving soon, but as soon as he comes back, you can get a picture with us and we'll sign your panel. I was really worried about hitting this just right because I knew that they were leaving soon. Plus, I had to wait for that guy to come back. So I was like, I'm going to wait around their area because otherwise I'm going to miss this. Because it's too hard to step away from my booth. And so I did, and he came back. I think it was the guy that played Liu Kang, if I remember right, is the one that played him. And those guys are just so cool. I got to talk to the gal that played Sonya Blade and hear her story about how she worked at the same fitness center as the other guys. She herself wasn't a martial artist, but she knew them through work, through that fitness center. And they invited her on, and I started looking into the videos of how they did everything. What they did is they actually filmed them and then cut out the bodies of the people and put those cutouts from the frames of the video into the video game. And so like that's actually them in Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. That's them in the video game. So yeah, I'm definitely going to keep going back. My plan in the future is to at least narrow my inventory or maybe focus more on making a YouTube video. I have an idea to trade up from this random video I got, this DVD case with a DVD in it of Johnny Depp. And I want to be able to like trade up as high as I can from that. I think that would be hilarious because it's just so weird. If you can, definitely check out this event next year. Tracy's told me it's going to be even bigger in the future. All right, I'm here with the man himself, Tracy.
I'm the owner of Minus World Video Games, also the owner of the Utah Retro Game Xpo.
All right, how do you think the expo went?
It went really well. We about doubled our attendance from the last one, so went pretty well, and a lot of positive feedback, so it was good. Yeah, we had a lot of support, a lot of different people that brought their staff and tournaments and different things like that, so it was pretty fun. So
yeah, I think last year you had like 2 or 3 Mortal Kombat characters, and this time you had
we had 5. Yeah, we had 5 this time, and some more voice actors and a bunch of different guests, Power Rangers. So yeah, it was pretty fun to have all those guys there.
How did the expo evolve into what it is today?
So started out in my back parking lot here at my store. Started as a swap meet, and we had about 1,000 people show up to that. So we decided probably better to move it indoors and see how we can improve and add more. And we evolved it from a swap meet to an expo, and kind of going from there.
What gave you the idea to even have a swap meet in the first place?
It was something I wanted to do, but I wanted to test and see if that would work, if that would be something I could evolve into an expo. And we had a lot of good support and a lot of positive feedback from that. So it evolved from there. It was good.
Yeah. Here's an interesting question. If you could have any guest in the world at the expo, who would it be and why?
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one. Charles Martinet, voice of,
awesome.
of Super Mario. Probably have him, and I don't know. I'm pretty happy with anybody that's related to retro gaming. Back to from N64 on. Not very many voice actors from back in the day, but maybe some of the guys from Sonic. From Sonic Adventure, things like that would be fun.
Yeah, even if I don't know the person, it's been fun to get to know who they are. I didn't know the Mortal Kombat actors, but man, they're really cool people, really nice people.
Yeah, they have really good stories, so they're good to watch and listen to. So. And
I didn't know Daniel Pacina had like his own dojo.
Yep,
that was awesome.
Yeah, they're all martial artists, which is really cool. So,
are there any plans or details you have that you are willing to share about the future or where you want things to go?
Not quite yet, but we want to grow it, make it bigger, have a lot more stuff to do. Just make it more fun and. Kind of go from there. So we're looking at our next steps right now.
Awesome. Even the 2 days later?
2 days later. Yeah, I need a little bit of a break. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Probably just enjoying the calm after the storm.
Yep.
Here's another fun question. If you could modernize any retro game, what would it be and why? Whether it's like a reboot or a modern sequel.
Yeah, probably The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Ooh, yeah.
I really like what they did with Link's Awakening.
Yep.
So if they did that with The Link to the Past, that would be way cool.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to share or?
No, just
talk about?
Stay tuned for our future events, and we'll make things bigger and better and more fun.
Cool. Well, thank you, Tracy.
All right,
good talking with you.
You too.
It's been so amazing to be a part of this wave. It just keeps growing, keeps getting bigger. I'm all here for it. It's been a ton of fun. If you're there, come say hi, and I will see you in the next video. Be good.